on the field. The pride of the Southland band crisply marches into the Giant T. The rear, the roar of 97,000 fans rises with each rhythmic step. In the background, George Beatsis is singing Fight, Balls, Fight. The orange and white Shakers flood the air. The Volunteers are ready at the north end of the football field to burst through the gate. They're coming now, racing onto the field through the Giant T. In that magic moment that says, wherever you are, it's football time in Tennessee.
Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. We are just 16 days away from kicking things off inside of Neyland Stadium. Got a ton of content coming your way over the next few weeks, so make sure you're subscribed and dialed in. Click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Also, make sure you smash that like button just below the video. I would greatly appreciate it. It helps the channel because, look, we're getting closer and closer to kicking things off. And like I said, we're going to have a ton of content coming your way. And as we kind of wind down to kickoff, there's a lot of people out there that are predicting big things for the University of Tennessee. People like Roman Harper out there talking about Tennessee going to knock off a Georgia or an Alabama. But on the flip side of that, for so many people that feel like Tennessee is, don't dare I say the word, Tennessee is back. I don't believe that to be the case. You know, some people in the comment section landing the big commitment from Jordan Matthews yesterday. People are saying we're back. Boogie, we are back. It's time to say that Tennessee is back. I don't quite think we're there. I think we're on the way back, but I don't think we're quite there. But on the flip side of all that positivity, there's some negativity. People throwing shade at Hendon Hooker, saying he is the product of a system and he's not really that good of a quarterback. The coaches poll came out last week. Tennessee left out of the top 25, and some of you guys saying it doesn't matter. All that matters is the AP poll, and once it comes out, everything will be just fine. Well, you can see this article from VAWLS 24/7. Vols narrowly miss top 25 ranking in preseason poll. Now, does this matter? I'll say the same thing about this that I said about the coaches poll when it came out. Probably doesn't really matter. Kind of gives you a gauge, an estimate of where people think that Tennessee is at. But at the end of the day, you go out and take care of business. The rankings always take care of themselves. Let's go down and take a look at this article. It says, after narrowly missing out on the top 25 of one preseason poll, it happened again to Tennessee when the preseason AP poll was released on Monday. The Vols received the most votes among teams outside of the top 25. Tennessee heading into its second year under head coach Josh Heupel after a 7-6 season in 2021 was just outside the top 25 of the USA Today Sports Coaches poll released last week. The Vols were third among the teams receiving the most votes that didn't crack the ranking. So again, on the coaches poll and then also on the AP poll that just came out Monday, Tennessee right on the outside, right on the verge of being ranked there in the top 25. But when you look at it, the way things are going to shake out in the first week, you got a couple of teams that are going to play each other that are in the top 25. I think Tennessee could very well go into the Pitt game in week 2 ranked in the top 25. I think you've got, who do you got in that first week? You've got Arkansas at 19 playing Cincinnati at 23, so somebody's going to fall there. You got some other top 25 teams in action. We'll see how it shakes out. But again, you could see a top 25 ranked Tennessee going on the road to play Pitt in week 2. The article here goes on to say Tennessee last was ranked in the preseason poll by the Associated Press 3 years ago. The Vols were number 25 in the initial ranking in 2020, which in mid-August of that year included teams that at times weren't slated to play a fall season after the conferences opted against it amid the COVID-19 pandemic. They went up to number 15 after the AP took those non-playing teams out of the equation, and were at 16 when Tennessee opened that unusual season in September. Tennessee was picked to finish third in the East in a virtual tie with Kentucky in the league's preseason poll last month. Now, here's where it gets interesting. This is why when you guys ask me, Boogie, does it really matter? Does it really matter, the coaches poll, the AP poll, Tennessee, where they're ranked? And this is why I say no. To me, honestly, preseason polls should not even exist. I think what you should do is see the body of work for the first maybe 4 weeks of the season and then come out with a top 25, because it's all speculation and hype going into the year. You don't really know what you're going to get. And you can see here the article says Tennessee had 4 opponents also ranked in the top 25. Alabama number 1, Georgia number 3. Got no problem with that. Obviously, those two teams belong up at the top. But then this is where it gets interesting. Pitt comes in at number 17, Kentucky number 20. Now, I don't really have a problem with Kentucky being ranked 20th. That's fine. What I think is dumb, why in the world would Pitt be ranked 17th ahead of Tennessee, who is just outside the top 25. Because if you go look at the odds, if you go look at Vegas, what Vegas says about the Tennessee-Pitt game, and I know some of you guys disagree with me, some of you guys are terrified of this Pitt game, and I'm going to get into it, talk about it a little bit more. As of right now, Tennessee is a 4.5-point favorite on the road against Pitt. 4.5-point favorite. Vegas was not built on the backs of winners. Vegas was built off of losers. They know what they're doing out there. Tennessee, 4.5-point favorite. Why in the world would a team that is favored to beat Pitt be ranked outside the top 25, but yet here you have Pitt sitting at 17th? But again, we're going to settle it on the field. Doesn't really matter. Tennessee's going to have an opportunity to go and prove that they are better than Pitt. Just a few weeks away from that game. And I know a lot of you are scared of it. A lot of you are terrified of that Pitt game and how much talent they got. And, I can talk about Kenny Pickett heading off to the NFL. I can talk about Jordan Addison, the shoes that he has. Somebody's got to fill those shoes for the Biletnikoff Award winner at wide receiver, one of the country's best wide receivers. They got a quarterback transferring in from USC. Not a bad quarterback. I don't think he's Kenny Pickett. They're going to score some points. Returning all 5 starters on the offensive line. Now, I know that's scary. Their defensive line, always solid. Their secondary is absolute garbage. Pitt's secondary is trash. This offense, this Josh Heupel offense, is going to be opened up even more. It's going to be more dangerous. Hendon Hooker, a full year in the system. Hendon Hooker, all offseason, knew this was his football team. The keys to the car belong to Hendon Hooker. He's going to have a field day against that Pitt defense. Mark my words, a field day. One thing they struggled to do against Pitt last year, they struggled to run the football. But you also got to remember that Joe Milton started that game, and Tennessee lost by a touchdown. Pitt scored 41 points. 41 points on Tennessee's defense. But again, 285 yards and 2 touchdowns from Kenny Pickett. Jordan Addison, 6 catches, 64 yards and a touchdown in that game. Who's going to step up and replace that production? It just doesn't make sense to me that Tennessee is favored to go on the road by 4.5 points to beat Pitt, but yet Pitt's ranked ahead of them. Again, that's why preseason polls don't make a lot of sense to me. Goes on to talk about 2021, where Tennessee was picked to finish 5th in the SEC East, wound up finishing 3rd behind Georgia and Kentucky, thanks to an explosive offense that ranked in the top 10 nationally. I think it's going to be even better this year. I think it's going to be better. Top 10 nationally in scoring and yards per game. And the game started by returning quarterback Hendon Hooker. Tennessee averaged 40 points and better than 480 yards per game in Heupel's up-tempo offense. Goes on to talk about opening the season against Ball State on Thursday night. We're going to be live immediately after that game. Going to be a late night. Thursday night, 7 p.m. kickoff, SEC Network, inside of Neyland Stadium. Night game. The light show is going to be on. Going to be great. Going to be a great atmosphere for opening night. We're going to be live immediately following that game, so I hope you'll tune in, come hang out with us for the post-game show. Goes on to talk about taking on Pitt, second week of the season before hosting Akron and Florida to close out September. We've talked it to death. The speculation, got to start 4-0. If you're going to have a special type of year, if you're going to exceed expectations, you got to start 4-0 in September. You start 4-0 in September, you move into that LSU game on the road, you find a way to win that game, bring Alabama to Neyland Stadium at 5-0. Neyland will be rocking. Here's a quote from Josh Heupel, says, "The expectations and the standards inside of our room, they haven't changed inside of this building. Now the perception of us outside the building has changed. But what we believe we have the opportunity to do because of the work that we put in, there's a great confidence inside of this building." I love it from Josh Heupel. I love the confidence. I love that they all expect to go to Atlanta. Whether or not that happens, that remains to be seen. But this football team believes it. Hit that comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Is it disrespect? Has Tennessee been disrespected once again by being left outside the top 25? What about that Pitt game? Favored by 4.5, but somehow Pitt still ranked higher than Tennessee. That's why preseason polls make no sense to me. But hit the comment section. Let me know what you think. If you have not done so, again, as always, smash that thumbs up on the way out the door and go check out our merchandise. you can go to bonfire.com/store/talkinballs. Any and all support, greatly appreciated. Got the brand new Talkin' Balls themed mustard shirts. We've got shirts for beating Alabama, beat Florida, beat Georgia. Let somebody know that we are Kentucky's daddy. All kinds of merch. Again, bonfire.com/store/talkinballs. The link to that is in the description as well. If you want to contribute to Spire Sports Group, if you want to win on the recruiting trail by utilizing NIL, you can contribute to that. We have a link for our affiliate program down in the description below as well. But that's going to do it for this one. Make sure you guys tune in tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, playing a little NCAA 2013 and talking ball football. But that's going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin' Balls Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.